Any adult who fights against the protection of children is sick, and they should have their laptops checked. Welcome back to Come and Take It. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, don't forget to push the like button, all right, the thumbs up button. Make sure that you hit that and leave us a 5-star review if you are listening on audio podcast, wherever you get your audio podcasts. Leave us that review. 5 stars, rate us, I should say, and then give us a nice review, because that's what we deserve here in conservative media world. Lord knows everyone's out to get us. Big tech's out to get us. I appreciate it. So the topic of protecting children is obviously incredibly important to me. Those of you who have followed me for a while, if this isn't your first rodeo with me, you know that I'm heavily involved in that. It's why I work with Texas Family Project on my initiative, Defend Our Kids Texas, because even in the state of Texas, you wouldn't realize it until I put the evidence in front of your eyes and say, this is what's happening in the state of Texas. Even in the state of Texas, we unfortunately have to worry about things like that. And so I know if you listen to me regularly, you hear me talk about this all the time, maybe it feels like, but I'm going to keep talking about it until we cut it out in the state of Texas, until we don't have to talk about it anymore, until they stop sexualizing children in the state of Texas. I'm going to keep talking about it. So when we talk about the idea of policing books that are on shelves in school libraries, the left is very quick to call it a book ban. Spoiler alert, it's not, okay?
That was an overreaction.
If you or any person within the confines of the state of Texas can go onto Amazon.com, get your little laptop out, get your little smartphone out, go to Amazon, the app, or Amazon.com. If you can go to that website or another website, find the book with a quick little search, add it to your cart and buy it, it's not banned. Okay? That's not a book ban. But we have always agreed up until like 5 minutes ago, when the left decided to go off the reservation by providing and pushing sexualized, explicit content for children in school libraries, we all agreed up until 5 minutes ago that that was a really, really bad idea. It's basically like saying, hey, you're banning books because my 8-year-old doesn't have access to Hustler in the school libraries, right? Like, we all agreed how ridiculous that sounded not that long ago. And no, your child is not being oppressed. You're not being oppressed. No one is being oppressed by children not having access to any sort of, explicit magazine, book, literature, poetry. I don't care what it is. If it is at all explicit, it's inappropriate for children. It shouldn't be in a school library. This really isn't hard for anyone who's not a total groomer. Okay. But just to highlight how ridiculous, and I would say insidious, this movement is to push sexualized, depraved content onto children, onto young children whose brains are not ready yet to process the information that's being presented to them.
We have a problem.
Here's one of the latest articles from TexasScorecard.com. You're not going to believe this, okay? Texas prisons ban explicit content while schools keep it accessible. Yes. It's real. So the Texas Department of Criminal Justice policy that we have here in the state very clearly states, I believe that it was updated December of last year, very clearly states that inmates are not allowed to obtain magazines or books that have graphic presentations of sexual behavior that violates the law, such as incest with a minor, bestiality, or pedophilia. Explicit images. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, why would anyone want to read that material anyway? I agree. All right. But just remember, with these rules for the prisoners here in the state of Texas, the adult prisoners here in the state of Texas, these are adults.
That makes sense.
They're not minors. Okay. But even the Texas Department of Criminal Justice realizes the negative effects of putting this type of content in front of adults even. Now consider how much more damage it does to children. whose brains are not ready to receive, to process the things that are being put in front of them in their schools, by their librarians, by their teachers. Like, imagine how much worse it is for those poor kids. But we still haven't stopped it from happening. Is that not such a grave injustice to Texas children? The Texas Department of Criminal Justice can protect inmates from this. Public schools? Nah. So TDCJ, that is, of course, Texas Department of Criminal Justice. I don't want to have to keep saying that. That's long. We're going to call them TDCJ from now on. They have a list of over 10,000 books that they don't allow because of one of those reasons that I just listed. Now, some of these books, I'm obviously not going to get into all of them because 10,000 books is a lot. But some of these books include names such as, now you guys, if you follow heavily all of these inappropriate books for minors, these titles may sound very familiar to you. But I am going to give, now, by the way, viewer discretion is advised, I guess I should say at this point, because I want to list some of these books that are on the no-no list for TDCJ, but totally okay for your kids to read in public schools, okay? So one of them, or a couple of them, will say Flamer, Genderqueer, and Blankets. Now, if you're not already familiar with these, you should thank the Lord that you're not, because these are really sick, disgusting books that have no, I mean, again, I don't know why anyone would want to read it. Definitely not appropriate for children. And so I want to just kind of give you a brief overview while sparing you the details, because I understand if you're watching this and if you have concerns about children being preyed upon in Texas, if you have concerns about children actually indoctrinated in the state of Texas, you don't actually want the nitty gritty. So let me just give you the brief overview, and I'll make it as least disgusting as possible. Okay. Flamer, one of the books, is categorized as a young adult graphic novel. First of all, what do you hear? I've just given you 4 words at the beginning of the description. And what do you hear? Young adult. Adult. Why would it be in schools? I have no idea. A young adult graphic novel, and it chronicles the experiences of main character Aiden Navarro as he attends summer camp before starting 9th grade. The novel features discussions of explicit topics, partial nudity, and allusions to masturbation. Banned in Texas prisons, available in Fort Worth, Austin, Houston, and Dallas school districts. You embarrassed yet, Texans?
Yeah, I am.
Have you had enough of this yet? I'll keep going. One of the other books, Genderqueer. This is one of the most infamous books that has been banned from school libraries. Remember, not banned from getting, but they have decided to remove it from school libraries because it's a memoir about the author's journey of self-identity, which includes, adolescent crushes, how to come out to family and society, because now we have to make every book about being gay or something, bonding with friends over erotic gay fan fiction, and facing the trauma and fundamental violation of pap smears. Some of the images depicted in the book include toys, graphic illustrations of 2 people performing acts on one another, and banned in Texas prisons, available in Austin and Houston ISDs. Those of you who are watching this on YouTube, like if I tried to show you pages of this book, if I took a screenshot of it and I put it up right now, where you're watching this, right here, I would probably be banned from YouTube. I would almost certainly get a strike on my channel. And YouTube I don't want to offend the YouTube overlords. Okay. I'm going to be really careful with my words, but YouTube is not what you would call wholesome material. You can find very not wholesome material on YouTube. So the idea that if I put it in front of you guys as adults, I could get in trouble, yet you can find it in school districts across the state should alarm every Texan within the sound of my voice. Let me give you one more, just to prove the point, okay? Blankets is a graphic novel about a boy coming of age. It includes graphic type imagery and references of abuse and, again, masturbation. Now, why anyone in their right minds would want to teach children about that topic is beyond me, but nevertheless, banned in Texas prisons, available once again in Austin and Houston school districts. What are we doing? What are we doing? Here we are in the year 2024 in the state of Texas. Adults are protected from pornographic literature. Children are not.
Are you worried about your kid's future? You should be. I'm Charles Blaine with Texas Tomorrow. This is a show where we're going to talk about the issues and the people that are pushing the policies that concern your family, your home, and your kids. Catch Texas Tomorrow every Thursday.
And by the way, I know there's like this sector of adults, parents sometimes, who fight against this, who call us, you're just book banners, you want to burn books, you're censoring people, you shouldn't do that. My child should have access to whatever material they want to in school. I should be able to allow them to check out X-rated material from their school libraries. How dare you? You are oppressing us. Any adult who fights against the protection of children is sick, and they should have their laptops checked. There is no reason. There are so many good classic books out there, right? So many good, wholesome books that actually teach helpful values. They actually instill like good morals. I won't even say Christian. I mean, I would like them to be Christian, but I won't even say specifically religious, okay? Because there are a lot of morals that you can instill in a child that you don't necessarily have to even equate to religion. I would hope that you would, but I'll respect that not everyone wants to do that. But teaching your kids right from wrong, teaching them that lying and stealing is bad, teaching them to respect one another, teaching them, I mean, there are all sorts of books out there that can teach them helpful values without compromising the integrity or the innocence of the child.
It's not that hard.
There are so many different characters in these books that would actually be really good, strong role models for our children to emulate. So there's just absolutely no good argument that our public schools should be providing this type of content to Texas children. You guys over there in the prison system have said that this is not okay for adults, but you want to put it in front of children?
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Honestly, like sometimes I think about these types of people and I'm like, I don't even want to share a state with you. Go to California. If you think that this is okay, go to California. They're all crazy there. They'll probably agree with you, but at least you can keep my state a safe haven for children. That's not a Texas value. All right. And if you want to give your child that sick content, go buy it on Amazon, I guess, and keep it at your home, you sicko. Now, let me be clear. I actually think that should disqualify you from being a parent, like from being able to parent your child. I think that abuse of children. And I think that you should have your children removed from you. But I understand the law isn't quite there yet. My hope is that the law will get there eventually. But until then, if you just have to put content in front of your children, that's just like a goal of yours because you're a weirdo, go do it in your own spare time. There's no reason that you know what? You don't have the right, you should not have the right to push for other people's children to be subjected to this. So I just wanted to highlight for you guys, I read this article and I was like, this is insane. This is total insanity. We're not allowing this in prison for, I mean, you would assume very common sense reasons. If these are adults that need to be rehabilitated, you don't need to be putting something in front of them that would encourage some sort of violence or, some sort of act that is against the law. So why would you do it to children? It lacks all common sense and reason. So we've gone off the reservation, guys. And I understand that there's a law here in the state of Texas that children can't read this in public school anymore. Well, it's not working. It's not working. And in the meantime, children primarily in leftist school districts, looking at you, Austin, Houston, Dallas, although Fort Worth, not okay. All of these school districts are now being harmed, and adults are getting more protection from content than children in the state of Texas. Know who is on your school board. Okay? Better yet, they should know you, because you should start showing up and speaking out and using every opportunity that you get to make sure that they know that this is unacceptable and keep showing up until this crap is removed. That's it. Be a thorn in their side. Trust me when I tell you, the school districts that I have frequented to try to get these books removed, many of which, we have been successful on, they know me. And when I show up, they know that they're not in for a good time. Be that person in your school district. If you are one of the school districts who is providing this to minors, be that person that you walk in the room, you walk in that school board, hall, office, wherever they're holding this, you walk in there and they're like, oh, crap. Linda's here. Tom's here. David's here. Oh, God, this is going to be a rough night. Oh, boy, I don't want this kind of exposure. Oh, man, this is embarrassing. Embarrass them. Because a lot of work remains. We've got a lot of work to do. But the good news is I am confident that we can all achieve it if we work together. We all know our part. Show up. Well, first of all, run for office. If you can't run for office, show up at the meetings. If you can't show up at the meetings, send an email. Send a million emails, right? There's always something that you can do. And there's no excuse not to join us in the fight. Because I don't know if you've seen polling lately for this election that we have around the corner, but it's a lot tighter than I think anyone would want or expect here in the state of Texas. So let's achieve this work together. And I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next time on Come and Take It.